Girl, I know you want a better life for yourself. But here is the harsh reality. In 100 years from now, they will write books about the generation that let all their potential and dreams die for a little glass rectangle. Because in today's overly stimulated and distracted world, it has never, ever been easier to let your potential and dreams die. But at the same time, in the world we live in now, it has also never been easier to fulfill your full potential and make your wildest dreams come true, no matter where you come from. But if you want a better life for yourself, the life that you can see in your mind, the version of you that you know you're supposed to be, then I'm here to tell you it is 100% possible for you. But you need to stop lying to yourself. You need to take a good look at your life and at your daily choices, because it's not just the phone that's sabotaging us anymore. There's pleasure, there's cheap dopamine, there's stimulation and distraction at every corner. And those seemingly harmless little choices you're making every single day, to be scrolling on your phone while watching TV, to be showering every single day with music on, to be listening to podcasts while you're walking, to be eating while watching YouTube, to be eating the most convenient and delicious food all the time, to be constantly plugged in. Without even realizing, we're always seeking that next dopamine hit through technology, through food, maybe even substances, but everyone's doing it now, right? So what's the big deal? This has become so normal in today's modern world. But here is the big deal. Here is the big consequence of living in this way. It has destroyed your relationship to feeling pain, discomfort, boredom, even suffering. And it is only through feeling those emotions that we can build the discipline to achieve long-term goals. And that is the only way in life that we will create sustainable, lasting joy, motivation, happiness, and that feeling of fulfillment that everybody is craving. Because it's in that pain that you will become who you are supposed to be. And the funny thing is, it's not even going to be painful for long. All those things that you need to do to become that best version of yourself, that highest version of yourself, the most confident, attractive, magnetic version of yourself, whether that's eating cleaner, working out more, posting that content, going to that event, being braver, all of those things will only be painful for a little bit. In the long term, they will be so pleasurable because they will make you fall in love with yourself and the person that you have become by doing them. So if you dream of being a better version of yourself, if you want to be a more disciplined version of yourself, one with a higher self-image, because you always follow through on the things that you say you're going to do, but maybe you've been struggling to do that. I get it, because that was me. And the things that I'm going to share in this video is going to be the number one thing, no matter what you want. If you want to level up, this is going to be the number one thing that is going to set you up for success. Because in today's overly stimulated and distracted world, the people who can do this are going to win every time. Okay, so we have a 3-step process to enter our disciplined girl era whilst honoring our feminine. So we've got step 1, reframing our relationship to pain. Step 2, death of our old self and brain. And step 3, I'm going to be giving you a daily action plan that's super sustainable. It's not going to be really intense. It's going to be something that you can implement day to day that will over time increase your dopamine baseline and make it far easier for you to focus and achieve those long-term goals and step into the feeling of her. Okay, so step 1, reframing your relationship to pain. So if you're really honest with yourself, let's look at it this way. Through hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, our brains have evolved to avoid pain because our ancestors went through a lot to get to where we are now. So every kind of solution that exists in the world, every business that exists in the world, it's to destroy that feeling of pain and make things more convenient and more easy for us, right? So every business that succeeded in terms of social media, it makes us easy to connect with people. Uber, it makes us easy to get to a place. Deliveroo makes it easy for us to get food. So every business that succeeds in the world today is for the purpose of making our lives easier, making our lives more convenient. And whilst that's great, what's happened now is that we've destroyed our ability to feel pain, right? So we need to reframe our relationship to pain, because how we're going to get to where we want to get to is by leaning into pain instead of that cheap dopamine. Because every single decision we make in the day where we're leaning into cheap dopamine, and it can be something as harmless as just having to listen to music in the shower every day, right? We're just giving our brain all of this pleasure and all of this stimulation, and we're not even realizing how much it's affecting our daily choices. So you say you want to get into better shape, you want to eat healthier. But the issue is you can't because you've lost your ability to feel pain. And so when the decision comes to get a takeout or get something unhealthy, quick and easy over taking the time to lean into pain and cook something, really putting in the effort to go do that food shop to cook something, or really choosing to not get off your couch and go to the gym, because you've made all these little decisions day to day where you've lent into pleasure and quick dopamine instead of pain. When it comes to building these long-term habits, it becomes very hard because we're so used to leaning into the pleasure, right? So no matter what you want to do, by reframing your relationship to pain, it will help you with every goal you want to achieve, whether that's the goal to start a business, to post content, to become healthier, to become more confident. By doing these steps and reframing your relationship to pain, you will be able to achieve all those other long-term goals. And another thing to realize is it's actually the activities you need to do to get to where you want to be in your disciplined girl era. It's not actually painful, right? Think about it. Like after you cook the meal and you eat a healthy meal at home instead of getting a takeout, you feel good about yourself. You feel really good about yourself. After you go to the gym, instead of sitting at home, you feel really good about yourself. You feel really proud of yourself. After going to that social event or going to the cafe or leaving the house and doing something that feels scary that you don't usually want to do, you'll feel really good about yourself. Maybe after posting content, instead of leaning into the fear, even if it doesn't do as well as you wanted, you will still feel proud of yourself because you did it. You put yourself out there, right? So then why do we stop ourselves from doing it? Because our brain knows we're trying to change. And so the idea, it's not that the activity is actually that painful. It's the fact that our brain makes it seem painful, right? So your brain goes, you think to yourself, I want to go to the gym. And then suddenly your brain goes, ooh, that's really painful. So it's actually the anticipation. After you go to the gym, you know you're going to feel good about yourself, but it's the idea of it that your brain sends pain signals into your brain. Your brain sends pain signals to you. It makes you feel pain at the idea of doing it. But the activity itself, once it's over, you will feel pleasure. You will feel good about yourself. If not right away, then definitely once you repeat it over time. And so once we become aware of this, you can use it to your advantage. Because next time you say you're going to do something, you know, okay, my brain's going to try to trick me into thinking that this activity is going to be painful. But it's not actually going to be painful, right? Like think about it. A huge homework assignment that you have, or something you've done at university where you have to sit down and study. Your brain's always being like, oh, I have to sit down and study, like I can't be bothered. But once it's just starting it, once you've actually sat down and you're in the momentum, you feel really good about it. You're like, damn, I'm actually doing it. I feel really good. It's the anticipation of the activity that creates pain, but it's not the activity itself a lot of the time. You know, maybe in the beginning, the hardest thing is to start the activity. Our brain will trick us into thinking that it's going to be painful, but it's not. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to reframe our relationship to pain, because we know pain is a good thing. It's actually through feeling pain, through feeling discomfort, through feeling silence and boredom that we are going to achieve everything we want in life, literally. In order to eat cleaner, have the discipline to gym, just glow up, step into your highest self, that's all about leaning into pain. And the best part is it's not even going to be painful for long. That's just your brain tricking you into thinking it's painful. So from now on, you need to become extremely self-aware. We're going to build our self-awareness muscle. And every time you feel that feeling of pain at the anticipation of doing something, you're going to say, yes, that means I'm on the right track. Right? So if you're like, oh, I'm going to go for a walk in silence today and just rewire, my brain, improve my dopamine baseline. Before you go on the walk, your brain's going to go, oh, that's so uncomfortable. It'd be so much more fun if I could listen to music and daydream, or if I could listen to a podcast. The idea of walking in silence is just so painful. But you're going to know, no, I'm going to lean into that pain. And then what's going to happen is once you're on that walk, you're actually going to feel pretty good. You're actually going to look around and it's going to feel amazing. You're going to notice things you've never noticed before. You're going to be breathing deeper than ever before. So step one, reframing your relationship to pain. Once your brain makes you feel that pain in the anticipation of an activity, lean into it. It is a good thing. It is literally how you're going to step into your highest self. Okay, so step two, death of our old self brain. So when I realized this concept, it changed a lot for me. Because you need to understand that you have access. You literally have the most powerful thing in the world, in the entire earth, potentially the universe. We don't really know. The most powerful thing in the world is this. It's your brain. It is so unbelievably powerful, but most people, this is the thing that makes me very sad. Most people go their whole lives without realizing the power that they have, that they can literally create the life of their wildest dreams, and they can create heaven on earth for themselves if they can just master their mind and realize these things. Now, your brain is so powerful though, it is going to do everything it can to keep you the same, because it realizes if I always do what I've always done in the past, then it is a known, right? It's not the unknown. If I've always acted in a certain way, then I already know that I'm surviving, that I'm alive. So I don't want to do anything new, because anything new could potentially lead to danger. And so your brain is so powerful, it will literally do everything it can to keep you alive. And by keeping you alive, it means keeping you the same, to stop you from growing. And that is why we always self-sabotage. That is why we procrastinate, because our brain is so clever. It knows that if you do these things, potentially you could literally change your entire life and live the best life ever. But to your brain, that is a danger. Okay, so by realizing this, we can take our power back, because what we need to go through is we need to go through a death of our old self. It is going to be extremely painful, because it is a death. It is a death of your old self. And so by realizing this, you will know that every single day when you make the choice to lean into pain, you're either stacking proof to your new self, your new brain, or your old self, your old brain. So every time you lean into pain and you do an activity that your new highest self would usually do, you're leaning into that pain. It's painful because it's a death of your old self, and you're creating new networks in your brain. Your brain is an accumulation of neurological networks, right? So this is your brain. I know it doesn't look like a brain, but just pretend it's a brain. And every single time you do a habit, you've done something 100 times, you've created a strong neurological network in your brain. It's a very, very strong network. It's going to take time for it to break. But then every time you build a new habit, you're creating new neurons in your brain. You're creating new neurological networks. And this will become part of your new identity, okay? So every single day when you're leaning into pain, you have the chance to rewire your brain. And this is really important to know, because your brain will do everything it can to trick you into staying the same. But you know that eventually your new brain will take over. Eventually you will become the kind of person where it will literally feel illegal to not do those habits, to not go to the gym, to not post content, because it will be part of your identity. But to actually get there will require a death of the old self, which means feeling that pain and stacking proof to your new self. All right, guys, and step 3 is our daily action plan. And this is the one that I am the most excited about. This is something I've been doing in my own life, and it's incredibly helpful. It really has been quite life-changing for me, and it's one of the easiest ways that's been helping me step into my highest self and making it easier for me to achieve those other goals. So by doing these steps day to day, you're building the neurological networks and you're increasing your dopamine baseline, which is going to make it easier for you to achieve those other goals and really make it easier for you to be in your discipline era. So we're going to have a 3-step process here. Step 1 is no phone for the first hour and last hour. All right? So you're gonna wake up, and if 1 hour feels extremely difficult for you, just start with 30 minutes. But the goal here is when you wake up, you wanna replace the activity of immediately reaching for your phone with something like saying gratitude, maybe meditating, maybe viewing outside light, maybe reading a book, maybe just sitting with your thoughts. You really want to, this is out of everything, the most important thing is to not reach for your phone and check your messages and go on social media apps, because then you're giving your brain that immediate cheap dopamine. It's going to really crave that, but then you're really setting yourself up for failure for the rest of the day, because you've started your day when you're in this really susceptible state as soon as you wake up with this huge hit of cheap dopamine. So this is extremely important. The first hour, you want to really get to a point where the first hour and the last hour of your day, you're not plugged in, you're not on your phone, you're not watching something, you're just sitting with your thoughts. And if you can't do 1 hour, just do 30 minutes. Also, as soon as you wake up and before you go to bed, your brain waves are in a state called theta. So they go from beta, alpha, theta. Well, they might be in alpha and then going to theta, and this is a more of a hypnotic state. This is when your subconscious mind can be rewired. And also, if you struggle to fall asleep at night, Guess what? It's probably because you're plugged in all day. So if you're wired at night but tired all day, it's probably because you're plugged in all day. You need to give your brain, you need to give your thoughts the chance to roam free. And they can't do that if you're constantly listening to music, if you're constantly listening to something, if you're constantly watching something, if you're always on your phone. If you can't actually just sit with yourself, you're not giving your thoughts the chance to actually roam free. It's okay to just sit there or to just go for a walk and let your thoughts roam free. That's normal. That's how our brains are wired. If you give your brain the chance for your thoughts to roam free and to actually just do things one thing at a time, then you'll notice at night you'll fall asleep a lot quicker. You'll find it a lot easier to get a good night's sleep. So this brings me on to step number 2, is we're gonna do 3 to 4 activities a day, only at one time. So you need to pick 3 to 4 activities that you usually do whilst being plugged in that you will only do at one time, one thing at a time. So what I like to do is cooking, cleaning, walking, shower. I mean, these are really basic activities and we should be able to do them without having something playing on the background, right? So even if it's just a 10-minute walk, 5-10 minute shower, you're cooking breakfast quickly, you're doing a little quick 15-minute sweep, we should be able to do that without any stimulation in the background. So set yourself the goal to do at least 3 activities at one time. Sometimes I do my gua sha, my facial reflexology, for 15 minutes and I just sit there and I just do it. Whereas before, I know I used to always want to maybe be reading a book or be watching TV while I was doing it. So anything that you do on the daily that you feel like you have to have something playing on in the background, really come back to the present and just do it. Or if you want to let your thoughts roam, let your thoughts roam. And then finally, and this is the really big one, is we are going to eat 2 meals a day, no stimulation. I apologize for my handwriting. Okay, so 2 meals, no stimulation. So I like to do breakfast and lunch, and I am someone since like the age of being a teenager, like a young girl, for the last 15 years, I have built the habit of if I am eating, I have to be watching something. And I have overcome this habit so quickly because it's actually so relaxing for the nervous system. It feels so good to just be present with your food and to not actually have something playing in the background all the time. And so also doing these steps is going to be an extremely regulating activity for your nervous system. It's going to be very healing and it's going to make you more resilient over the long term. But this is extremely important. If you want to have dinner or 1 meal a day where you're plugged in, fine, but take time, take 10 to 20 minutes a day for 2 meals where you literally just sit there with the meal and you're just present with the meal and you don't need to be plugged into anything else, okay? And this brings me on to my other great hack that I like to add in when you're doing these activities that's going to really change the game for you is you're gonna use this phrase, right? So say you're waking up and you're not going to reach for your phone and then your brain feels that pain and it starts going, it'll start giving you excuses. Oh, I need my phone. I need to check this. I need to check the weather. What if this person messaged me? I can't wait. I need to check it, right? It's going to make you feel pain because it has all of these old habits for the last 2 years. You've woken up and you've picked up your phone straight away. So it's a very strong neurological network. Same with 3 to 4 activities at a time. Walking, this is boring, I can't, I'm feeling the pain. I need to shower with music on, who cares, right? Your old brain is always going to try to suck you back in. With meals, like your thoughts will be racing, like this is boring, like I wanna maybe watch something, whatever. And so this is what you're gonna do. Anytime you do one activity at a time or you do one of these steps, and you feel a little bit of pain, you are going to immediately say this phrase to yourself. You're going to say, how lucky am I? How lucky am I? So if you've woken up, how lucky am I that I have this beautiful bed to lie in and that I'm alive and I just feel so grateful for the sleep that I got. If you're eating, how lucky am I that I have this food, that I have such an abundance of food. I am so unbelievably lucky to have all of this food, right? I'm so lucky for all the people who went through the process of helping get this food on my plate because all I had to do was go down to the supermarket to get this food. Like, wow, I am so lucky. How lucky am I that I'm on a walk and I have these 2 legs that just take me everywhere and I have an able body. Like I am just the luckiest person in the world. So you're going to do that every single time you're doing an activity at a time and you feel a slight bit of pain. You're going to build the habit of saying, how lucky am I? Because guess what? Fear and gratitude cannot exist at the same time. Pain and gratitude cannot exist at the same time. And the gratitude is going to really bring you back to the present and help you create a new neurological network of feeling grateful for just existing, right? Feeling grateful for that pain, and it will help you really lean into that pain, into that discomfort, into that boredom, and make it pleasurable a lot faster. And that is exactly the point we want to get to, so that our dopamine baselines have increased and our ability to withstand pain and boredom and silence and suffering have increased, so that we can do the hard things more often, so that we can sit and focus on a task at hand for hours, so that we can choose to work out and feel that pain of discipline over sitting at home, so that we can keep making hard choices that will help us become more disciplined and step into a version of ourselves that we know we're supposed to be, and the version of ourselves that we really fall in love with. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you're going to be implementing any of these steps. And if you're on this journey, I'm really excited for you. I believe in you, and I'll see you in the next video.